Well, we're ready for action now. The Harper Creek Beavers in their home uniforms with the Hawaii blue. They look like the Detroit Lions. The Cardinals in their road uniforms with the white jerseys. And we're ready for the kickoff. High over end over end is going to come here to the near side and go out of bounds. So we'll have a flag here early on the kickoff, and that ought to give the Cardinals some pretty good field position.
I think they bring that up to the 35-yard line, I believe.
And we're going to check on, we didn't call the other deep back, DJ, and we'll get on that.
Reed.
Yeah, it's got to be Reed. Rusty usually wears number 45, but on the road here, he's wearing number 28 in the backfield. So starting in that backfield again with Reed will be partial to quarterback, along with Jarvis and Doug Howard. We'll see where we get the spot here.
35.
And it will come out to the 35, so that's a good break. Remember that in high school football, goes out of bounds. You spot it out here at the 35-yard line. That's where the Cardinals will start out here, our first offensive series here at Harper Creek. Cardinals will come out with Howard a slot back to the far side of the field. Beavers on defense. Looks like they're going to start with a 52. These two teams, according to Coach Ed Greenman, and we're seeing it now, they really mirror each other both on offense and defense. So it's going to be a matter of execution and which teams can pull it off with the fewest mistakes here tonight, as the Cardinals will start with a running play to Reed up the middle. He's going to have a gain of about 5 yards. Nothing fancy on that opening play for the Cardinals. So important is the line of scrimmage, who can control, and on that one the Cardinals get a good push and get the good 5-yard gain in the opening play.
Just one up the middle. I think the key to our offense is to contain Mullins at the nose guard, and he was in on that tackle, and he's a very, very fine athlete.
He's also the leading rusher for the Beavers this season, one of the tri-captains for Harper Creek. Coldwater comes out here, second offensive play. It'll call a 2nd and 5, the ball on their own 39-yard line. Marshall up to the line of scrimmage, gives to Jarvis, tries to find some room around the left side, cuts back inside, and Jarvis good for about 1, maybe 2 yards.
Again for Harper Creek, number 6.
Matt Green in on the tackle, 5'10", 190-pound senior for Harper Creek. So we've got a third down now, and we have well, I thought we were going to have an official timeout for a moment, but we're not. There's the whistle. So Brian Parshall comes back to the huddle right now, and we're just underway here at Harper Creek. Cardinals taking that opening kickoff, getting the penalty, starting on their own 35-yard line. Call it 3rd and a long 4 for the Cardinals. Couple of linebackers a little closer now to the line of scrimmage for the Beavers. Partial looking over the defense. Full house backfield for Coldwater on this 3rd and 4. Fake into the line. Partial with the keep. No, it is a running play. Cardinals will have first down to Jarvis. A nice fake by Partial. And they hand off to Jarvis on the left side or far side of the line. So the Cardinals move the chains, pick up the first down on the 5-yard run by Jarvis.
That time Harper Creek, instead of having their nose guard was right on the center, but the tackles came down and got in the gap between the guards and the tackles, rather than staying on the outside shoulder of the tackle, which normally in a basic 52 they do. Trying to take away the middle, and Jarvis went to the outside, made a nice move, picked up the first down.
Jarvis averaging 7.5 yards on the season so far for the Cardinals. Jarvis will come again here to the far side. He gets one block, gets the speed to the outside, gets to midfield, and then he's tackled hard right at the midfield stripe. So another pickup of 4 yards for Jarvis. Wade Scheidler, one of the captains, starting tight end and also a linebacker on defense, makes the tackle for the Beavers. Jarvis on the season, 158 yards, averaging 7.5 yards. As we said, Rusty Reed has carried the first time. He is a leading ball carrier for Coldwater with 171 yards. And Chris Torres, not starting tonight on offense, he'll start on defense. He has 121 yards rushing. No score here in the early going. 9:42 left here in the first quarter. Cardinals driving, picking up their initial first down. They face a 2nd and 6, just short of midfield. Full house backfield for the Cardinals. It's going to go to Reed, and he piles over his defender right at the line of scrimmage and moves here to the near side, picks up a couple of yards. Matt Green, again, his 2nd tackle here on the opening series for Harper Creek.
Well, I tell you, Green is tough in there, and so is Scheidler at the linebacker. They've got 3 really excellent, very, very good moving down linemen, and then with the linebacker thrown in there.
So the Cardinals come up to the line of scrimmage, facing their 2nd, 3rd down situation, about the same as last time. 3rd and about 4. They are in Harper Creek territory with no score. 8:56 and counting left here in the first quarter. Everything on the ground so far for the Cardinals. The full house backfield lined up behind Partial, the quarterback. 5-2 defense still for the Beavers, and it's going to come here to the near side to Howard with his first carry, and he slips underneath one tackler, and he's going to be short of the first down as he gets right down. We'll see what the spot is, but it looks right at about the 45-yard line. Mullins Captain linebacker on defense comes up, makes the stop, and the Cardinals look like they're going to punt it away, Doug, as they get that first down. But this time Howard is stopped with his first carry, and he'll go back to punt it away to the Beavers. And we'll have Hogue go back deep, and also back deep for the Beavers, no relation, and that is Seth Whalen. They call me Whalen sometimes, they call me Whalen, but this is Seth Whalen, and he's been a pleasant surprise, a sophomore. And I've got another interesting part of the story of Seth Whalen, and we'll tell you about when we get a break here tonight. But for the Cardinals, forced to punt on their second after the first down, and they're stopped with 8:10 left here in the first quarter, and no score. Howard ready to receive the snap. No, Howard is the snapper, excuse me. Rusty Reed back to punt for the Cardinals. Here comes the snap. It's a good one. Reed, plenty of time, gets it away. A high punt, a good punt. Fair catch called for by Hogue, and he is at his own 14-yard line. So there's some good special teams play. Doug, you got to get the good snap. We got that from Howard, and Rusty got a nice high punt. Good hang time on that punt. So Harper Creek's going to have to start on their own 14-yard line.
Harper came with not a lot of pressure then, but they did get somebody through there, and Parshall picked them up very nicely, therefore allowed Reed to get time to boot it away. Here's going to be the key, I think, to quarters night, and that is to stop Harper Creek, not only on the ground, but through the air with their fine quarterback.
Fuller is that quarterback. He brings them up to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a running play, trying to find some room on the right side of the line is Tyndall, the 6'1", 175-pound junior, as Tyndall picks up a couple of yards. Nick Anthony doing the nice job on the defense that time for the Cardinals. It'll set up second and about 8. A gain of about 2 for the Beavers on their first offensive play of the night. The Cardinals, 1 first down, and then they punt it away. We'll see what Harper can do on the offense now. They've struggled a bit with the loss last week, of course, to Sturgis, but they won their opener over Penfield. Fuller will hand off here to Mullins, and he's hit hard at the line of scrimmage. And on the bottom of the pile, making the initial hit that time was Torres, Chris Torres, with the initial hit for the Cardinals, and then good pursuit by the rest of the defense. So that'll set up a third down for the Beavers, 3rd and about 7. Brent Ziegler also in on the tackle. Favored receivers for Fuller.
Aaron Gleason also was in on that tackle. He might have gotten the first pop, and then Torres came in and drilled him also, but that's good pursuit right there by the Cards.
Nathan Gay, tight end, here to the near side. The other receiver to look for is Schuyler on this third down for Fuller and the Beavers. Takes the snap. It's pitched out to the far side, and with some running room, it looks like the Beavers will pick up a first down behind the running of Mullins as he crosses the 25 and is all the way out to about the 28-yard line before Todd Porter finally makes the stop for the Cardinals along again with Ziegler. So the Cardinals there missing an opportunity to be able to maybe pin Harper deep on their first offensive possession, but the Beavers respond, pick up that first down on the night. 6:33 and counting left here in our first quarter, and we still have no score. The Beavers picking up that initial first down. Call it 1st and 10 for the Beavers on their own 28-yard line. Back to pass is Fuller, rolling here to the near side. Under heavy pressure, and he's going to be sacked and goes down. Great pursuit that time by the Cardinals, and Will Renner doing a great job. And we heard in the pregame show from Jamie Spray that Fuller is an excellent passer on the run, and he is dangerous, but Renner showing some good speed, Doug, pulling him down from behind.
Well, the play was made by the defensive backs because they had everybody covered out of the backfield, was who they wanted to go to, and he was covered. Renner had great pursuit and caught up with him and showed some good quickness. But the young man is a threat. I mean, he can throw the ball. There's no doubt about that.
How about that? A 10-yard loss. Call it 2nd and 20. The Beavers all the way back inside their own 20-yard line. This run will go up the middle. And not much room there for Turnbull. Gets back up to about the 25, so that's going to set up 3rd and long. Matt Shook in on the tackle for the Cardinals, one of the starting defensive ends. Fast-moving first quarter here with just that, with no passes actually. 5-18, 5-17 and counting. No score here at Harper Creek.
You know, when Harper had the Turnbull boys and the good quarterback, I believe it was back in the olden days with Petchett running back, they used to throw a receiver out of the backfield.
Just one eye back now for the Beavers. Split wide receivers for Harper Creek and for Fuller. Drops back to pass. Looks here to the near sideline. A man is open. It's up in the air, and it's batted to it around, and it's going to be intercepted by the Cardinals. McKeon with the interception. Great tip drill that time, as it was intended for the wide receiver here to the near side of the field at about the 40-yard line. He was open for just a moment as Fuller, well, Doug, you got to say it, he tried to force it. He tried to force it in there.
Well, he was wide open, but he overthrew him a little bit, and Howard had an opportunity to come up from the safety position to tip the ball, and McKeon made the catch and returned the ball back to the 35. So very, very good field position for Coldwater and a nice defensive stand right there.
So the Cardinals, after surrendering 1 first down, get the interception, the turnover. Let's see if they can get some points now on the turnovers. Cardinals are back on the field, and it's going to be partial. I don't know if that was a broken play or not. He faked like it was going to be a draw and then came back, and it was Nathan Gay making the tackle that time for Harper, and lucky the Cardinals didn't lose more yardage on that as they partial just getting back up to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, there was a pass pattern because both ends were out, and the wingback came across the middle. I don't know what was there. Maybe he saw the blitz coming when he got the snap and tried to sneak something up the middle and pick up as much as he could, because I doubt if he had a chance to throw the ball.
First time we've seen this formation for Coldwater this year. Just a lone back, and that finds partial back to pass, and he's forced out of the pocket, gets back up to the line of scrimmage once again. Now we had Torres split here to the near side, Howard to the far side, and that left Rusty Reed just a lone back in the backfield. That's the same formation we saw just a moment ago from Harper Creek, but the first time we've seen it this year from the Cardinals, but no dividends on that. In fact, a loss of about 2 yards, so it's going to set up 3rd and a 12. And we have an official timeout on the field. Equipment, yeah, one of the helmets coming off, maybe a chin strap.
Treat's having a little problem with his, but that's 2 plays in a row now that Harper has come with a blitz. That time they looked like they were in a 6-man front. They brought a linebacker up to fill in, and they had a single linebacker, and that was Scheidler, and Scheidler came through to put pressure and made partial tuck it and try to get up the middle.
So 3rd and 12 on Harper's 37-yard line. No score here in the first quarter. Partial gives to Jarvis here to the near side. Great penetration by one of the backfield blitz. It is for Harper, and that was Trevor Love blitzing and getting Travis in the backfield. So the Cardinals no go on the offense this time around as the Harper defense stiffens when they have to, following the turnover on the interception picked off by McKeon. The Cardinals are stymied on the offense, and they're going to punt it away again as Rusty Reed is back at his own 47-yard line to take the snap from Howard. Back deep for Harper this time. We've got Turnbull and also Hogue. They're at about their own 10-yard line. 2:51 left here in the first quarter. High snap, but it's pulled in by Reed. Gets it away. Another high punt, a nice one, and a fair catch called by Hogue again, right at about his 16-yard line. So deja vu there. Just the exact same spot where he received the punt last time around. So that's where Harper Creek will start out. Both teams just kind of feeling each other out here. The Cardinals unable to take advantage of that first mistake by Harper, and now the Beavers out with their second offensive series of the night.
Next week, Harper Creek will entertain Hillsdale. In 2 weeks,
they break out of the huddle. Still the same backfield. Full house. Tyndall, Turnbull, and Mullins behind the quarterback Fuller. Cardinals 5 men on the line, 52 defense. Running play here to the near side is Mullins. And we see Renner there in on the tackle. And also in the vicinity, I think, is Torres.
number 28 on the stop.
Rusty Reed as well for the Cardinals.
That's just power. That's all that was. And they just picked up the 4 or 5 yards. 4 yards, looks like. And just a basic power going off the left tackle.
Oh, he got a big tackle. We'll get that number 71. You look at him come out of the tackle, Doug, on the right side of the line as Harper is going to stay on the ground again. It's going to go to Tyndall, and he squeezes through a couple of Coldwater tacklers there as he got in between Ziegler and the other tackler and put his head down. And just a nice run that time for Tyndall, because it looked like the Cardinals, the 2 tacklers were converging, but he squeezes underneath them and picks up the first down. So the chains move as the Beavers are out to their own 29-yard line. No score here again. First quarter, 1:52 and counting here at Harper Creek. Now we got a wing back for the Beavers out to the far side. 2 running backs lining up behind Fuller. And it's going to go to Tyndall once again. And he struggles forward for a couple of yards, maybe 3 yards for the Beavers.
Big Anthony, number 69 on the stop.
Nick Anthony, as you heard there, maybe on the PA system, but also Brant Ziegler in again on a tackle for the Cardinals. Brant Ziegler calling the defense here tonight for the Cardinals, captaining the defense. Rusty Reed also in on the tackle for Coldwater.
Boy, Harper's got two big tackles. Wheels 6'4", 270 Collins, 6'2", 225 Ismarelli.
We got Mullins on the slot back to the far side on this 2nd and 6 for Harper Creek. Give them a pickup of 4 on that last running play. They try to get something here, a fake to the up back, and then it's going to be the keep for Fuller on the option play. Ziegler with the tackle, so that's the first time we've seen a run tonight by Fuller. Pretty nice fake it was to Tyndall, and the keep by Fuller. It picks up a couple of yards, so big 3rd down play coming up here in our scoreless first quarter so far. Clock continues to move. We're down to 42 seconds for Harper Creek. It's going to be 3rd and about 4. The ball on their own 34-yard line. It's going to be Mullins slot back to the far side. Cardinals still in that 52 defense as Fuller looks over the defense, takes the snap. It's going to be a running play to Mullins. We have a flag on the play as well. Might be a hold. We'll see what the call is, as Mullins is just able to get up to the line of scrimmage with Nick Anthony applying the pressure on the defense, making the tackle. We'll see what the official
Coldwater
coming here.
didn't jump.
Well, we got a hold on Harper.
Good. Well, they make it 4th and 5 where the ball is, or 4th and 4. Do you push him back and give him a chance to put the ball in the air? Tough decision. Going to decline it.
That's
going to make
call.
him kick.
I think that's a good call. Harper on their own 34. And we haven't seen the leg yet tonight for the Harper punter, Lee Britton. 6 foot, 165-pound senior. We'll see what he offers with the leg. Howard will be going back deep for the Cardinals along with Rusty Reed. Excuse me, now they've switched punters. They've got Mullins in there doing the punting right now for the Beavers.
For running.
Well, there you go.
I would think they would punt, but who knows?
Maybe the last play of the first quarter. 10 seconds, 9 seconds and counting. Here's Mullins. Takes his time, gets the kick away. Line drive, low one taken by Howard, 40. And then he's tackled right at about the 42-yard line. That's the final play of our first quarter here at Harper Creek. And we have a scoreless first quarter. Beautiful night for high school football as the Cardinals come out to start the second quarter. We have no score. Coldwater 1st and 10. The ball on their own 42-yard line as the handoff goes to Reed. And this has just turned into a defensive struggle. No passes for Coldwater. 1 pass attempt picked off. Harper Creek was picked off, and so everything else has been on the ground. And Reed hits the right side of the line, picks up about 3.
I think both teams had 2 possessions, didn't they, in the first quarter? And Coldwater won the yardage race, I think.
Excuse me, Jarvis with the carry there for the Cardinals. Cardinals coming out in the full house backfield right now. 2nd and pickup of about 2 for Jarvis. 2nd and 8 for the Cardinals. Fake into the line, and it's going to be Partial is going to be pulled back, and he is going to be dropped for a big loss. That play developed slowly, and that Matt Green, what a powerhouse, a 5'10", 190-pound junior, and boy, he was right there on top of Partial. No chance for that play to develop. It was going to be a pass play for the Cardinals, and Brian Partial, although coming into the game confident, Doug, he's seeing a different brand of athlete than we saw last week against Hillsdale.
Oh, you bet. I mean, that Green is right across from Anthony and Renner on this left side. And I'll tell you, he's winning the war right now.
Howard's going to be a slot back to the far side. 3rd and 12 now for the Cardinals. The ball on their own 41-yard line. Still scoreless here in the second quarter. Handoff goes to Jarvis. No fake to Jarvis. Pass out of the backfield to Howard. He has to break 1 tackle to get close to the 1st down yardage as he gets across midfield. And we'll see what kind of a spot we get. It's going to be short, I think, of the 1st down, but a nice rollout pass after the fake on the handoff to Jarvis as Partial rolls to the far side, and Howard was in that slot back position to the far side. So the Cardinals face a 4th and 2, 4th or long one, however you want to call it. Coldwater's going to go for it. Yeah, first time they've been in Beaver territory tonight. 10:09 left here in the first half. Cardinals go for it. Big play here. 4th and a long one for the Cardinals. Full house backfield behind Partial. We'll see whether he keeps it or hands off maybe to Reed. Looking over the defense.
Or even going a long count.
Yeah, no, they're going to run the play, and it's going to go on the right side. It's going to be close. Howard with the carry for the Cardinals, I believe.
Like the spot might have gotten it.
Yep. He just did the right thing. Doug just put his head down, tried to use that search. 1st down for the Cardinals. So a big play, maybe the big play of the game so far for Coldwater, picking up the First down on the 4th and a long one for the Cardinals. So we have 9:49. The clock will start now. No score, but the first time either team has penetrated the other team's territory tonight. Marshall breaking up the huddle for the Cardinals. They come up to the line of scrimmage. Full house backfield. Beavers still with that 52 defense. One of the backs, though, from the defensive backfield lining up towards the line of scrimmage. And we're going to try to get some room up the middle for the Cardinals, but there is nothing there at all on the run. So the Cardinals will face 2nd and 10. Finally getting up from the bottom of the pile is Rusty Reed, and he's had some tough going here tonight, Doug. Usually Rusty gets his way, but not so far tonight.
Well, those backers are coming in there pretty hard, and when that happens, it closes down the gaps that normally would be there for you to slither through. And they're playing right up to the line of scrimmage. They're only about 3-4 yards off, and then they're sending 1, possibly 2 each time. Scheidler's 2 yards off the line of scrimmage right now at this near linebacker spot.
Howard slot back here to this side. Marshall drops back to pass. Has him on man open out here to the near side. Almost a one-hand catch. It was that time by Howard down to about the 38-yard line of Harper. And in on the defense that time for Harper was Trevor Love, the 5'9", 145-pound junior. So he's at a size disadvantage there, and did a nice play on the defense to break up that pass just slightly over the hands of Howard. But other than that, a pretty nice touch on the pass from Marshall. The Cardinals now face 3rd and 10. They're on the Harper 47, and the Cardinals picking up that first down on 4th just a moment ago. Would like to keep this drive going. Again, Howard, the slot back here to the near side. Marshall takes the snap, stands up, looks over the middle, and incomplete almost. One-hand catch by Matt Shook, the tight end. And those are the kind, as you get experience, Cardinals don't pass it a lot. But the pros, they would say, well, he should have caught that ball. But that was a tough opportunity, but the Cardinals unable to convert on that 4th down. Good pass protection that time. Good play call for the Cardinals, but they just could not complete the pass, and they'll punt it away now. Rusty Reed at his own 41. Low snap from Howard, but Reed will get it away. This is a low punt. Gets a nice bounce, but it goes out of bounds, and Harper starting just at about the same spot. They've been at the 16 twice. This time the ball rolls out of bounds at the 14-yard line of Harper Creek. So just a battle of field position so far, and a battle of the defense here. One mistake on the night, the Harper Creek pass intercepted by McKean, but when the Cardinals got the ball after the interception, they basically went backwards and unable to generate any offense off that turnover.
You get something like this tight of a ball game, it's going to be some big play. Somebody's going to bust one, take it in, and then it's going to change probably the whole complexion of the ball game. But right now, Coldwater's playing tough.
1st and 10 for the Beavers on their own 14-yard line. Full backfield fumble is on the ground, but the Beavers quickly cover it up. That handoff never got into the running back's midst there. The Tyndall was the intended receiver of that handoff, but he never got there. Nick Sellen making the fumble recovery for the Beavers, so they dodge a bullet there, recover their own fumble. Almost a near disaster for the Beavers, who lose a couple of yards. We'll call it 2nd and 12. The Beavers on their own 14-yard line, no score, coming down on 8 minutes left here into the first half. Fuller, the quarterback, checking the Coldwater defense. Rolls out here to the near side to pass. Has some time. Pass downfield out to 42, and it's in and out of Mullen's hands at about the 45-yard line. Defensive plays on the defense was Howard also on the defense, as Mullen was the intended receiver, and also back there on the defense for the Cardinals was Lenhart. Had double coverage, but boy, that was a beautiful pass, Doug. That's one, really, it was right perfectly thrown, and he just dropped it.
Yeah, I didn't think that Howard played that especially well. Lenhart didn't. He let the guy get by him and rather than go with him. Howard, after coming over, was looking for a short pass and possible interception. It sailed over his head right through the arms of Mullins. A good break for Coldwater right there.
Tyndall and Scheidler, the wide receivers, out here to the near side. Fuller drops back to pass. Rolling out here to the near side. Now he's going to let it go, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of the first receiver, almost caught by Tyndall, who was down at the 30-yard line. The up receiver was at about the 20, so some loose hands for Harper Creek to the benefit of Coldwater. They should have had maybe one first down and also should have maybe had a very long gain, but nothing out of that for the Beavers. Clock stops on the incomplete pass. 7:44 left in our first quarter here at Harper Creek. Still no score. Cardinals should get their best field position of the night off of this punt. It's going to be Mullins standing at about his own 3-yard line to take this snap and punt it away. Good snap. Good punt. High punt. A great punt. All the way back to the 40. Gets a great bounce to the 30, to the 25. Finally picked up by Howard on his own 21-yard line. He breaks a couple of tackles. Gets out across the 25 out to about the 30. Let's see, that ball hit on the 23-yard line from the 3 to the 23. What a great punt for Harper Creek. Got a great roll, but it was a high one. Just a super punt that time for Mullins and gets the Beavers out of a hole. We got a Cardinal down on the field.
Yeah, I tell you, that baby sailed. He had a lot of time, and he got his foot into it. And Howard ran it down and then turned and went up the field. The Coldwater player laying down blocked one of the Harper Creek guys, and I think he just may have gotten the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, they're not. He's going to get up right now. We'll get the number. Yeah, and it was Todd Porter.
Yeah, he went to stick him pretty good, but he just was a little bit off, and the guy won that battle. But he did try to block him, and that was one credit to Porter.
Well, the defensive skirmish continues here at Harper Creek. No score, 7:29, and we've got a timeout now.
Somebody's not in.
So they did not have all their.
Well, maybe not. He was looking around like somebody should have been in there. They still don't know who's supposed to be in there.
Coldwater Cardinals now. 7.5 minutes left here in the first half. The Cardinals with the ball. 1st and 10. The ball on their own 28-yard line. Full house backfield behind Partial, the quarterback. It'll be a running play straight up the middle for the Cardinals. Rusty Reed with the carry out across the 32, about the 32, and Nathan Gay, tight end, and also one of the captains, making the tackle that time for the Beavers. 5'11" and 180. The Beaver defense, you can see why they excel at defense. A lot of big players, good size, and
very
good
agile.
speed.
Very agile for big kids. I mean, they move real well. They move well laterally. They shed blockers very well. That was a nice pickup by Reed there.
Cardinals sticking with that full house backfield. 2nd and 6 for Coldwater on their own 32-yard line. Beavers show a little bit of stunt, then back off. Comes here to the near side to Reed once again, and he turns, Jarvis with the carry that time for the Cardinals as he's.
No, that's Reed.
Oh, Reed, excuse me. I don't want to listen to that PA. Trust yourself. Trust your call there.
You got it. It's up the middle. It's going to be Reed.
Yeah.
If it's outside, it's going to be Jarvis.
Reed spins backwards, picks up a couple of more. So the Cardinals now face 3rd and 4. You might remember earlier in the second quarter, the Cardinals picked up a first down on 4th down. Similar kind of series. Nobody getting any big gains here tonight. Maybe the most, maybe 5-6 yards. Just grinding out the yardage. They can get what they can. No score here. 3rd and 3 for the Cardinals. Partial will be a running play, and he sticks his head down, and he'll have a first down as he spins out to the right side of the line. One fake, and then he just makes the carry before he's tackled by Justin Tyndall of the Beavers. So the chains move, and in this kind of a game, Doug, first down's very important.
A very nice fake that time by Reed up the middle, and that time it developed well. It wasn't one of those deals where it was very slow. Put it in, took it out, went up the sideline. He could have pitched it to Howard. He decided to keep it and pick up 3-4 yards for the first down.
Cardinals out to their own 38-yard line. We're down to 5:50 left here in the first half.
Trap up the middle again.
And there it is to Reed. Not much there, out to about the 40. These teams just not giving much ground at the line of scrimmage.
It's going to take something. You know, somebody's going to bust one, or somebody's going to get beat on a deep pass, and then that's going to change the complexion of the whole ball game. But right now, it's just who's got the advantage at the line of scrimmage.
Todd Porter was in the play before that as a running back. Jarvis replaces him. Jarvis back in. Cardinals sticking with the full house backfield.
Should go wide this time.
Partial takes the snap, and he's going to keep it. Breaks out. He was maybe going to be thrown for a 3 or 4 yard loss, but he makes his way back up to close to the original line of scrimmage, and he's pushed back. It's going to be a loss of about a yard. It'll set up 3rd and long here for the Cardinals.
That's almost like, he's not getting him the ball or something. I mean, that's how slow that play develops, whether he's taking it upon himself that he's going to pull that out there and take off. Because I think when that happened, Jarvis stopped.
Well, Jarvis stays in. Jarvis Reed. Jarvis now goes as a slot back to the far side. 3rd and 9 for the Cardinals. No score here in the first half. 4:25 left in the second quarter. Cardinals on their own 39-yard line. Marshall with the snap. Rolls back to pass. In under some pressure. Runs up. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another tackle out across the 45 to the 46. But he'll be stopped short of the first down. Doug, I'm zeroing in on Marshall. What was happening with Jarvis?
Jarvis went down and went to the outside. He was well covered. And that's why he kind of tucked it.
So the Cardinals forced to punt. Back once again. Rusty Reed on his 32. Hogue.
This might be the best field position that Harper Creek gets. Unless Reed can get one, but they're pretty deep. I don't think Reed can kick one over these guys' heads.
They're at about their own 25-yard line. The two punt returners for Harper Creek. We got a good snap. No pressure. High wobbly kick. And this one will give, but it gets a great bounce for Coldwater. It bounced, came down at about the 40-yard line, and the Cardinals are going to down it at the 22. So it bounces about 22 yards in favor of the Cardinals. So Coldwater gets away with one there, but that still is the best starting field position for Harper Creek, but not exactly great. And that lets you know how it's been for Harper tonight, starting on their own 12 and a couple of times on the 15 and 16-yard line. This time on the 22, Beavers trying to get the goose eggs off the scoreboard. 3:25 left here in our first half.
They're liable to start opening something up because they haven't done much, and you got 3 minutes left to go and a half. They'd like to get one on the board. They will be the people that will be getting the ball the second half. You can score first and get another one to start the third quarter. Puts you in a pretty good position.
Turnbull, a slot back here to the near side, but it's going to go to one of the up backs, and that's going to be
Turnbull.
Turnbull coughs it up.
Reed.
And Coldwater recovers. There you go. There's the break that Coldwater was looking for. Second fumble of the night for Harper Creek. They recovered it earlier on a missed snap by the quarterback, but this time a big hit, and Harper coughs it up. Coldwater will have 1st and 10 on the Harper 25-yard line. This fumble coming with 3:24 left in the first half. Earlier, Cardinals intercepted but couldn't do anything with that turnover. Let's see if they can take advantage of this miscue by the Beavers.
I think it was in the exchange. It wasn't there, and that's when the ball went down. But there was also Harper Creek back ran into a lineman.
And we're going to get a timeout right now. Coldwater will want to talk about it. Very important series coming up for the Cardinals. Well, Coldwater having to use its first time out here, Doug, and you spotted it looked like maybe they only had 10 men on the field.
Yeah, Renner was a little slow getting out there, and I don't know whether he was, he's had problems with his helmet before, and I don't know if that's what was the case, or he was just over getting a drink and didn't realize that we recovered the fumble.
So the Cardinals 1st and 10 after the fumble recovery on the Harper Creek 25-yard line. 3:21 left here in the first half. No score. Partial up to the line of scrimmage.
Got him deep.
The line has a man wide open in the end zone, and it's going to be Jarvis, and he had the ball, and he thought about running. He didn't bring the ball in at about the 3-yard line. There was a touchdown wide open by about 10 yards, and that's one that he's going to have a nightmare about this evening.
Oh, boy, you couldn't ask. And Brian made sure that he had a lot of air under the ball to get it there, too, and he's just got to catch that and take it 2 or 3 steps right back into the end zone, because it was right about the 3-4 yard line, and you're right, he'll be thinking about that for a long time.
Now one of those ones you're so wide, almost too wide open. That's what happens sometimes.
Great fake again. Great fake into the line.
So that stops the clock with 3:16. 2nd and 10 for the Cardinals.
They're liable to come back with him on the outside.
Again on the 25-yard line of Harper Creek. But this is going to be a handoff to Reed, and he is going to be tackled in the backfield. Number 74 with the tackle for Harper Creek, and that's Josh Treat, 6 foot, 180-pound senior. Great penetration. Rusty had no chance on that one unless he was going to do a fantastic job of breaking a tackle, but he had no momentum, so he goes down. A loss of 3, so we're 3rd and 13 now on the Harper 27-yard line. That's a huge defensive play for Harper. Breaks the momentum from the fumble recovery by the Cardinals, who are up to the line of scrimmage now. 3rd and 13 again on the Harper 28. Full house backfield, lining up behind Partial for the Cardinals. Partial Fakes into the line, looks for a pass, comes down here to Howard. He makes a great catch. 5, touchdown for Coldwater. A great concentration by Howard on the reception at about the Harper 5-yard line here on the near side. And it looks like he may have maybe twisted that ankle just a little bit as he comes out of the end zone, but he'll take that as the Cardinals break the scoreless tie with exactly 2.5 minutes left here in the first half. Coldwater 6, Harper nothing.
Well, I tell you, Partial faked the ball and looked like one of those slow deals again, and then he got away and then lofted the ball. And for Howard's size and good hands and athleticism, pulled that in for the touchdown.
Cardinals to go for the 2-point conversion. Partial up to the line of scrimmage. And he has the ball, an option, and he cuts back up the middle. He's not going to get back to the end zone. There was another one, a little slow developing that time. And the Cardinals are stopped on the 2-point conversion, but they break the scoreless tie. We'll take a break. Coldwater 6, Harper Creek nothing. So what the Cardinals need to do now is not allow the Beavers to break off that big play and go into the locker room at halftime. Try to keep this shutout intact. With 2.5 minutes left here in the first half, the 27-yard touchdown pass from Partial to Howard. 2-point conversion, no good. And getting ready to tee it up for the Cardinals is Howard. We've got Hogue on the far side, Whalen here on the near side, back deep for the Beavers.
Normally he's wind up to be a line drive squibber.
Howard with a hand up in the air. There's the whistle as we're ready for the kickoff. Cardinals moving right to left on your radio dial, and this one is a low line drive. It's going to be taken by one of the upbacks. 25, 30, 35, a whole 40, out to about the 43-yard line. With the ball is Trevor Love with the kick return for the Beavers. So some good field position for Harper Creek, starting out at their own 43-yard line. And
Howard made the stop on that.
Maybe this is when the Beavers will open it up. We haven't seen it yet, but we do know that they have got a nice arm. Fuller does have, and he can pass on the run. And just a matter of tug of the Beavers holding on to the ball, because on the previous possession they almost had their breakout play of the night. Mullins came out of the backfield and had the ball for about a 35-yard gain, couldn't hold on, and then the next pass also dropped by the Beavers. But they come out 1st and 10 on their own 43-yard line, trailing Coldwater 6-0. But this one will stay on the ground. Good yardage up to near midfield with the carry for the Beavers. And that's
running back in there.
That's Whalen is in the game. Chris Torres on the tackle that time, and the Beavers now with a hurry-up offense. 2nd and 4 to go. We're exactly 2 minutes left here in the first half at Harper Creek. Pitch out goes to the outside to Tyndall. He has first down yardage inside the 45, down to about the 43-yard line. The Beavers probably not, they could break the big run, but they got to get some big chunks of yardage now with the clock continuing to move. They'll move the chains now. It stopped momentarily. Brant Ziegler in on the tackle for the Cardinals along with Doug Howard. Full house backfield still for the Beavers. Clock now winding down again. Fuller, the quarterback.
Fumbled again?
And,
no, he didn't hand it off. He couldn't. He got bumped.
Oh, yeah, that's it. And he did a nice job keeping his head cool. Lenhart in on the tackle for the Cardinals.
He got right in the guard's face. Somebody's getting beat out there, and that might have been a linebacker coming and knocking him out of the way there.
Wide receiver split out here to the near side for the Beavers on this 2nd and 9. Fuller up to the line of scrimmage, rolls here to the near side. Good coverage in the secondary, passes away, and it's complete to the running back. Tyndall with the completion, and the big hit put on by Porter. And also Rusty Reed also in on the tackle as Tyndall out of the backfield, knocked out of bounds. Clock stops with 1:16 left here in the first half. It's going to be 3rd and short for the Beavers. We'll call it 3rd and 2. Harper Creek trailing 6-0 with that 1:16 left here in the first half. 4-down territory for the Beavers, and that being the case, Coldwater's defense wants to take time out to talk about it. Coldwater now, the defense digs in. 3rd and 2 for Harper Creek on the Coldwater 33-yard line. The Cardinals up 6-0. Fuller hands off to Whalen, and he is tripped up at the line of scrimmage. I think he's going to be stopped short of the first down. He needs to get down to just inside the 33 as Rusty Reed makes the tackle for the Cardinals. 4th and short. Quickly up to the line of scrimmage are the Beavers.
Measure.
Well, I guess they will measure.
Looked like where he spotted the ball, or where the official on the far side was standing, It looked like a little bit short, but with my angle, that.
Oh, I think, yeah, I don't think there's much doubt that it's short unless the chains
or the lines are crooked or something.
Or the chains move on their way in. No, we'll see the stretch now. It's short by about 2 footballs.
Yeah.
I think a couple of footballs. So that's how much the Beavers will have to go to get this, keep this drive alive with 1:02 left and the ball on the Coldwater 33-yard line. And they're just making extra sure on the measurement.
Biggest thing in this is 4th down.
Yep. So huge play for both sides here now. Their fullback, at least the biggest running back, is Turnbull. He's been playing more of a slot tonight, but we'll see what they do as they break out with Whalen in the backfield along with Turnbull. 2 wide receivers. We don't worry about them out to the far side unless they've made a big surprise and pass. 4th and short for the Beavers. Trailing 6-0 inside a minute left here in the first half. And this is going to be a handoff to Whalen right side. He has some speed, 30, down to the 25 before finally tackled by Porter. So the Beavers keep this drive alive. They'll stop the clock to move the chains down to the Coldwater 25-yard line. Send those 2 receivers out to the far side. That's Tyndall.
They might go now. They might throw one deep. Just have a fly pattern and just throw it deep.
Tyndall and Gay out to the far side. The 2 Coldwater defenders up to the line of scrimmage to guard, but this will be a running play to Whalen. Breaks inside. A little cut at about the 20, down to about the 18-yard line. Yeah, they're going to have a pass play here because there's just not going to be enough time as the clock stops with 37 seconds left. Is that the... Let's see how many timeouts the Beavers have left. That might be their 3rd. Will Renner in on the tackle that time for the Cardinals. We got McKean out there on one receiver to the far side. Lenhart here to the near side. Nobody's on that one receiver out there, Doug, but that'll be picked up by Howard Deep as the
the linebacker should have probably fall off. No, he's coming with a blitz. 2nd and 4. And it's going to be Whalen with the carry, and nothing at all there. I'm kind of surprised by the play selection here of the Beavers. Clock continues to run. Aaron Gleason in on the tackle that time. They're going to burn a timeout here. They're going to have to get a pass away. 20 seconds and counting. 3rd and 3 for the Beavers on the Coldwater 19-yard line. Coldwater up 6-0 late here in the first half. Another running play to Whalen. Cuts back inside, breaks inside the 10, down to about the 8-yard line. Whalen just a sophomore. Clock stops with 11 seconds, and now Harper will... we'll see if they got one timeout left or they'll move the chains, and that stops the clock, and they don't apparently have any timeouts left, so they're going to have to... No, I don't think they do.
Okay, this might be it. They have to score here or quickly get back, maybe a pass. We'll see what happens. Fuller's up to the line of scrimmage, and he just downs it. Kills it with 9 seconds left. I guess we should have expected that, and that's the...
I've never seen high school kids do that much.
So maybe they do have the one timeout left, and...
Coldwater's going to help them out.
Coldwater will call the timeout here. 2nd down for the Beavers. The ball on the Coldwater 9-yard line. 9 seconds left here in the first half. Fuller hands off to Whalen. Breaks one tackle, and then he's hit at the line of scrimmage. And then he bursts forward inside the 5, down to about the 3-yard line as Porter makes the hit. And 3 seconds left as Harper, they did save that last and final timeout, and they have it. So this is going to be a great, exciting finish.
The same set they've had before. They just put those 2 wide receivers out there, and then they come this way with Whalen.
So here comes the play. Handoff to Whalen. Tries to find room on the right side of the line, and he is stopped, and the Cardinals are pumped, and they will take a 6-0 lead into the ball game. Halftime, Todd Porter making the hit, the lead hit for the Cardinals, and they stop the Beavers, and they try to get Whalen again. He's been their key running back on this drive, but not this time as he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Cardinals make the statement on defense, and they head into the locker room at halftime, leading Harper Creek by a score of 6-0.
Learn to show enthusiasm even when you don't like it. Be the most positive and enthusiastic person you know. Attend your children's high school activities. Be a positive role model at your children's high school activities. Respect judgment calls made in good faith. Remember that kids play sports to have fun first. Be a fan, not a fanatic. Sportsmanship begins at home.
Howard ready to kick off for Coldwater. Moving left to right on your radio dial. We're ready for second half action. Coldwater and Harper Creek. The Cardinals leaded at halftime here by a score of 6-0. Ball is in the air. A low one end over end is going to come to one of the upbacks at the 30, 35. Breaks the tackle out across the 40 out to about the 45-yard line is the running back, Greg Willoughby's, with the carry for the Beavers. So good field position for Harper Creek to start out here in the second half. Their best opening field position of the game. We'll see what they can do. Again, the quarterback is Jeremy Fuller for the Beavers. The running backs, Justin Tyndall, Tommy Turnbull, and Jeff Mullins, and also, of course, Seth Whalen. And it looks like it's going to be Whalen in there now to start the second half, lining up in the middle in that full house backfield for the Beavers at their own 48-yard line, trailing 6-0, and it's going to be Tyndall trying to find some room around the right end for the Beavers, and there is nothing there as Nick Anthony leading the Coldwater tacklers on that play. Call it 2nd and 8. Also, Brent Ziegler in on the stop for the Cardinals.
This tells you about defense. Reed has carried the ball 8 times for 15 yards. They have Whalen 8 times for 40 yards, and again, most of those were in that drive that stalled just as the half went off for Harper Creek.
52 defense for the Cardinals. It's going to be a handoff here. It's going to go to Mullins. Mullins here to the near side, and not a whole lot of room. We've seen McKean in on the tackle that time for the Cardinals, along with Ziegler. So it'll set up third down. Third and about 6 for the Beavers. That first half, again, a lot of defense. A lot of action in the middle of the field before the Cardinals taking advantage of the turnover that set them up at the Harper 25 before getting in with the touchdown pass. 3rd and 6 for Harper on their own 47, just underway here into the second half. Fuller up to the line of scrimmage for the Beavers. Still the full house backfield. And this will be a running play, and it's going to be stopped short of the first down. So the Cardinals defense getting the upper hand here, and Whalen with the carry. Aaron Gleason leading the Coldwater tacklers that time. So the Beavers going to be 4 and out here to start the second half. So Coldwater took the momentum into the locker room at halftime, and they come out with that momentum, making their early defensive statement here as we have Doug Howard going back deep, along with Rusty Reed. They're going to be about their own 15-yard line. Mullins,
just be careful here.
Mullins to take the snap at his 40. It'll be a kick. Gets it away very, very high, and it's going to be taken by Rusty Reed at his 20. 25, head down, out to about the 28, and Rusty did a nice job bringing that ball in very high. He looked at it, and he juggled it just a little bit as Jeff Hoig made the tackle for the Beavers. I wouldn't want to
got away from him a little bit, and it was that high, and you're looking right into some nice, real bright lights, too, and he bobbled a little bit, but he hung on, and then he put his head down, picked up a couple more yards. But that's the defense that Coldwater's played all night long.
Well, we know special teams and kicking and punting have to have something to do with the outcome. Mullins doing a great job earlier. He had that kick of plus 70 yards for the Beavers in the first half. An official timeout here, and we have a little shoulder pad problem for one of the Beaver defenders. 9:58 left here in the third quarter with the Cardinals up 6-0.
Wheels, don't forget about the play to Jarvis that was dropped, because at some point in time, I think we're going to see that again. And I doubt if the young man will drop this one if he's got any chance of catching it at all.
Well, that was a good point to bring up, DJ, in case you're just joining us. Cardinals had a sure touchdown with Jarvis unable to pull it in at about the Beaver 3-yard line. Partial up to the line of scrimmage, full house backfield for the Cardinals.
Ooh, and
Harper jumps offside. Right end on the far side, and that's Josh Treat. Jumps offside for Harper, so it always is nice to start out 1st and 5.
Well, they used to call that offsides, and they called it encroachment. I think they've gone back to the basics and called it offsides.
Thank you very much. It's nice to get back to the basics. We don't need all those fancy terms. I'm trying to remember the fancy term that Jim Measle called the football last week. What was that?
That was the something bladder. What was that?
We'll get that in a minute. We got 1st and 5 for the Cardinals on their own 33-yard line. They're up by a score of 6-0. It's going to be Reed, breaks through one hole and is dragged down hog-tied at the 40-yard line by the Beavers. Justin Tyndall in on the tackle for the Beavers.
Yeah.
Look, pig bladder, that's what it was.
Pig bladder, yeah. Yeah, that's a dandy, isn't he?
Well, they hog-tied the pig bladder, which stayed in the grasp of Rusty Reed, and he picks up a first down. It was 1st and 5, a pickup of about 6. So it's 1st and 10 now for the Cardinals on their own 40-yard line. They got a slot back to the far side. That's Doug Howard. Jarvis and Reed lining up, and it is Jarvis going left, but then he tries. No, it's a fake to Jarvis, and it's a pass out of the backfield, and it's complete to Doug Howard. Almost looks like a one-hand catch out on the left flat out to about the 48-yard line. Good pickup on first down for the Cardinals.
I tell you, what a fake. I thought Jarvis had that ball all the way, and so did about 2 or 3 Harper Creek Beavers.
I usually rely on you to take me out of those plays, and this time you messed me up.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's only one only one check there for you. No problem. I'm sure you'll redeem yourself many times throughout the night. 2nd and 5 now. The ball out to the Coldwater 46-yard line. 9 minutes left here in the third quarter. Marshall looking over the defense. This will be a running play to Reed. Gallops over one man out to about the 48, 49. This will be 3rd and short. Turnbull making the tackle for the Beavers.
You know, you play great defense, get the ball back, and then your offense can also help you play defense by hanging on to the ball and taking a lot of time off the clock with this drive and an opportunity to get another first down and 4 more.
Now this Harper Creek crowd in front of us here, DJ.
Kind of stunned a little bit, I think.
A little quiet right now. Cardinals 3rd and 1. The ball on their own 49-yard line. Call it a long one for the Cardinals to pick up a first down. Full house backfield behind Partial. And it'll go to a Reed on the left side. He's going to have a first down. And boy, he came out of a pile. Looked like he had stopped right across midfield. And then all of a sudden, he's all the way down to about the 47-yard line before Mullins makes the tackle. And also, he's got Nathan Gay hanging on for dear life. And
2 captains right there that's trying to pump up the defense a little bit for Harper, but Coldwater picks up another first down.
Maybe
you look at this. Look at this drive, and a friend of mine, I'm not going to mention any names who it was, says the Cardinal offense is boring, basic, but good, and that's what's happening right now. I mean, that's why they're picking up the first downs.
And they fake the handoff. Partial has some room around the left side, breaks a tackle inside the 40, down to about the 37-yard line, close to the first down marker. Matt Green in on the tackle that time. Yeah, that sums it up, and I'd sum it up by just saying that the Cardinals just taking care of business.
Treat that time thought Torres had the ball and put him to the turf and got up, and then he looked and he said he didn't have the ball, and he just kind of put his head down and kind of walked away, but made a nice stop on Torres. Torres made a nice fake into the middle of the line.
Todd Porter now in the backfield for the Cardinals. Got Howard out on the slot back to the far side. 2nd and 1. The ball on the Harper 38-yard line. Coldwater trying to add on to that 6-0 lead, just bowling up the middle. And it's going to be first down yardage, I believe, for the Cardinals. Reed needed to get down to about the 35, and that's where he is. And they'll move the chains. 1st and 10 for Coldwater. And we talked about it before the game. Maybe the winner tonight is going to be the team that makes the fewest mistakes and is just strong mentally, keeps their head in the game, and that's what the Cardinals have shown here tonight, and especially on this drive here and moving the clock down to 6:58. Cardinals came out, made the defensive statement, and now they're doing the same on offense, just moving down the field. Take into the line of scrimmage, but this time it's going to be Partial sacked deep for a loss all the way back to his 45-yard line. That play just has not worked tonight for the Cardinals, Doug. It's either been a loss or just maybe getting back up to the line of scrimmage. They've been slow developing on that play, and that's the case again this time.
Linebackers coming that time. And and we didn't have enough guys to pick him up, and on the backside, the man got free, and Parson was just too long with the handoff and not getting out of there, and Jarvis was going deep. This could be the downfall of the drive that we just had.
8-yard loss. 2nd and 18 for the Cardinals. Pushes it back again to their own 43-yard line. Jarvis split out here to the near side. Howard to the far side. Single setback is Rusty Reed.
Nope, he's going to go
back to passes. Partial is going to go for Jarvis. Passes out there, and he can't find the ball, and he's looking for some kind of an interference play.
We got a flag right there.
And on the defense that time, Jeff Hoig.
Probably going to be a hold, which is going to be a 10-yard first down.
Boy, holding it up. And I thought Partial did a nice job putting that ball out there where Jarvis could go run under it, but obviously held up, and we're going to get that defensive interference call on the Beavers.
That might have been uncatchable, and that's maybe what Coach Greenman's talking about. But
I don't know.
Who knows when you're held up for 5 yards?
Well, especially with the speed that Jarvis has. So
That's going to be 15, but I don't think it's going to be automatic.
About 3 yards short it would be. The Cardinals faced a 2nd and 18, but really it gets them out of the hole, and with a 2nd and very long, it'll set them back down into Harper territory, back down to the 28.
You get an automatic first down with that. You do get an automatic first down with that.
So they do move the chains. Automatic first down. 5:58 left here in the third quarter. So Harper really helping out on that play, giving the Cardinals a first down.
There he's got them split out. He's got a double wide here.
Howard and Jarvis.
Howard and then Jarvis in the flanker, and I look for Reed coming up. Of course, they got 3. They're in an eagle. They got 3 guys covered, so this might not go too far.
Marshall takes the snap, and it's going to be the handoff to Reed up the middle, breaks through a couple of tackles, stays low inside the 25. You're right, 25, and we'll see where they mark it. Just scoots down on the ground, stays low to pick up some of that extra yardage. He gets down to the 21 of Harper, so a nice gain of about 6 on that play, and we're seeing another wrinkle on the offense tonight, and that's what you want to do. Each game you introduce a little bit more. You don't show all your cards in the first or second game, and the Cardinals opening up a little bit more here tonight, leading 6-0. 5.5 left here in the third quarter. Now the Cardinals back to the standard full house backfield. Jarvis, Reed, and Howard lining up behind Partial. Partial gives to Reed, left side of the line, and the Cardinals.
I'm telling you, with our linemen that time, they're just pushing them backwards. And that time was, I'm trying to see who's on that left side. I believe it's going to be Anthony and Renner's on that side.
Left side.
And then they got the tight end with Shook.
Shook's the tight end on one side, and the tight end
Ziegler's on the other side. And they're running left, and they're running off those guys over there.
That is Shook on the far side. You're right about that. So it's going to be 3rd and 1 for the Cardinals on the Harper 18-yard line. Coldwater already up by a score of 6-0. It's going to go to Reed on the left side. Has to struggle, use all of his power to try to get back up to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a close mark as Turnbull makes the stop. We'll see what the mark is here. He needs to get down, and they do move the chains. So Rusty Reed picking up the first down. The Cardinals keeping this drive alive, and as you said, really eating up some chunks of time off the clock. Harper having the ball to open the second half. Cardinals stopping them 4 and out, and the Cardinals have held the ball since then. We're down to 4:27 and counting left here in the third quarter. This would be
Jesse Griffin is one of those guys out there at that tackle spot, or he's at the guard spot, and Anthony's at the tackle and Shook.
Slot back to the far side is Howard on this first down, and the carry by Jarvis. No, it's a fake to Jarvis, and it's going to be Partial sacked for about a 7-yard loss as the Turnbull making the penetration, not taking the fake to Jarvis, and Partial goes down for a loss.
He was looking for Shook deep that time.
Turnbull really the defensive star on this series for Harper, about his 4th tackle out of the last 6 plays for the Beavers. Loss of about 7, called it 2nd and 17. The ball on the Harper 23-yard line, 3:40 and counting left here in the third quarter.
Backers will be coming again.
52, but those backers are up close to that line of scrimmage. And it's going to be Partial back to pass, going down the middle, and it's going to be caught. No. Oh, boy, that was close. It was Howard in the end zone, I believe. We'll double check on the number. And it is Howard, and some close coverage in that defensive backfield. And it was Tyndall with the coverage on Howard. And you're right, we had to wait to the last minute as they were both struggling for the ball right close to the end zone on the far side. But Doug, who's already had a couple of great receptions tonight, including one for the 27-yard touchdown, not able to keep that one. But the Cardinals now 3rd and 17. 3:26 the clock stops left here in the third quarter. Jarvis split out here to the near side. Howard to the far side. Reed lining up behind Partial, the quarterback. Back to drop this Partial. Has time. Goes down the middle, and it's incomplete as he was going for Jarvis. But once again, very heavy pressure in on Partial. Had to unload early. It's incomplete. Cardinals face 4th down.
You had him going across the middle. He had him going across the middle, and Ziegler coming to the sideline. And like you said, he had to get rid of it a little bit too soon. And just overthrew Jarvis.
Yeah, Jarvis was open down the middle. So the Cardinals here, looks like they'll go for it on 4th down. Again, 4th and 17. Need to get down to about the 5. Same formation for the Cardinals. Well, maybe we see a draw play here, or maybe some kind of option. No, we'll see what happens.
It's too far to go for
Partial
a draw, I think.
Drops back to pass, has some protection, rolls out to the far side under heavy pressure, still keeping the ball, gets around the corner, forced out of bounds, and the Cardinals will turn it over on down. So Harper back up against the wall. Responds on the defense, knowing that if they got down by 2 touchdowns, it really would be tough against Coldwater the way the Cardinals have played defense here tonight. So the Harper Creek offense now going to try to get on track. Stopped on their initial series, but the Cardinals keeping the ball since then, and we're all the way down to the 3:14 mark left here in the third quarter, and the Beavers trailing 6-0. They'll start out on their own 22-yard line. Again, Fuller at the quarterback spot. And we'll see if Whalen's still in there at one of the tailbox spots. Full house backfield for Harper as they come up to the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be a running play here to the near side. And it looks like Hogue is in there. He's a 5'8", 140-pound junior. It's either going to be Hogue or Whalen in there. And the 2 smaller running backs for Harper. The other backs, Tyndall and Mullins. Clock continuing to move. Pickup of about 3. And another problem, I think that number 74 has had a little helmet
He's
problem.
had a lot of helmet problems.
Josh Treat for the Beavers. Tells them to get off of here and to get it taken care of, and then you can check back in. So the Beavers do send in somebody else at one of the guard spots, and it's going to be Brian Tarkula. So the Beavers come out. 2nd and 7. Again, the ball on their own 25 after making the big defensive stand against the Cardinals. Tyndall in the slot back to the far side. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Gain of about 2, maybe 3.
62 for Coldwater is the first guy there. I believe that's Gleason. And then on the bottom is Torres.
Whalen's back in the ball game, leading carry in the first half for the Beavers. He's got a lot of speed. Aaron Gleason in on the tackle for the Cardinals.
I'll tell you, we've had a lot of helmet problems. Now somebody from Coldwater, I think it's Anthony's having a little problem with his helmet.
So they got it straightened out now. Clock moving. Big down for Harper and Coldwater. 3rd and 4. The Beavers on their own 28-yard line. They want to sustain some offense. Let's see what the Cardinals can do on defense. Fuller drops back to pass. Has time. Goes over the middle. Complete for a first down. A bullet pass out to about the 38-yard line. It goes to Tyndall. Todd Porter on the coverage, but you got to give all the credit that time to Fuller. Just really put a lot of zip on the ball. Got it into Tyndall before Porter could get there. So the Beavers pick up a big first down, move the chains out to their own 39-yard line.
I tell you, these coaches get further and further out on that field. They ought to be called for 12 guys on the field. Greenman's halfway out there. On the other side, Spray's halfway out there.
Full house backfield for the Beavers as they come out. Their fans starting to get back into this ball game now. They trail 6-0. Running play to Whalen. And he searches for a little room on the right side of the line. Not a whole lot there. Ziegler in on the tackle for the Cardinals along with Torres.
Number 42, Brett Ziegler on the stop.
And Hoig comes out now. Mullins back in the game at one of the running back spots for the Beavers. 1:15, 1:14 and counting. Very fast ball game here tonight. First half over in about a half hour, and we're rapidly approaching the 9 o'clock hour as you're in tune to WTVB Coldwater. Exactly 9 o'clock as the Beavers send out a couple of wide receivers here. No, that man is coming. Oh, he's on the field. A couple of wide receivers here. Whalen spread out here to the near side of the field for the Beavers on this 2nd and 5. But it'll be a running play. Right side goes to Mullins. Puts his head down, and this time it's Mullins getting up close to midfield, and that's the first down yardage area. Nick Anthony with the tackle for the Beavers, and this time on this offensive series, it's the Beavers starting to get a little bit of a push on the Coldwater defense. He's going to be stopped just short of the first down, just short of midfield, so it'll be 3rd and short for the Beavers.
I think that was as hard as Mullins' run tonight.
Same formation for the Beavers. And we're going to get the handoff again to Mullins. Tries the right side, breaks through the line of scrimmage, and the Cardinals are having now to make some tackles in the secondary as Mullins starting to get some power running now for the Beavers in the closing seconds of the third quarter as Nick Anthony finally has to make the tackle, and that is stopping the clock with 13 ticks left on it to move the chains. We'll see whether the Beavers want to get off one more play here as Fuller looks over here to the nearest sidelines.
I think they're going to take the quarter.
Yeah, they will take the quarter, give them a little extra time, and we'll have some extra time. Maybe get an update if we need it from Football Control. At the end of 3 quarters here at Harper Creek, our score, Coldwater 6 and Harper Creek nothing. And back to a great game here at Harper Creek as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Jim Whelan along with Doug Johnson, our score, Coldwater 6 and Harper Creek nothing, but Harper putting together a nice drive right now. They have 1st and 10, the ball on the Coldwater 44-yard line.
Looks like Mullins is going to be the horse in the late 3rd and all of 4th.
Mullins and Whalen lining up behind Fuller, the quarterback for the Beavers, looking over the Coldwater defense. Going to be a handoff to Mullins. Has a blocker out in front of him, but the Cardinals converge nonetheless. But Mullins, again, showing some of that power, gets inside the 40, down to about the 37, as he drags Torres for a couple of extra yards that time. And here in the 4th, still a little bit warm out there. Conditioning going to be a factor here in the late going. Just underway in the 4th quarter. Changing ends of the field. Harper moving left to right on your radio dial. They put Mullins now on the slot back here to the near side. And it's going to be a handoff to Tyndall, and he's going to be stopped as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of a couple of yards. Anthony and also Jake Lennart in on the tackle that time by the Cardinals. And there is going to be a loss. It's going to set up 3rd and about 5. And Harper on Coldwater's 37-yard line. So a big defensive play that time by the Cardinals, but we've seen already that Fuller, very dangerous on the rollout pass. This time he sends out his receivers to the far side, and that's going to be Gay and Hoag out to the far side as Fuller looks over the defense, but it's going to be a running play right side, and close to the 1st down is Harper Creek, and once again there's the big man Mullins carrying the load for the Beavers. 1st and 10, they move the chains. Torres once again having to make the stop for the Cardinals along with Ziegler as the Beavers keep this drive alive. 10:47 left here in our ball game. Cardinals holding on to that 6-0 lead. Torres and Tyndall and Turnbull lined up behind.
All that has got to be
Fuller.
Decoys the way they're running the ball.
Yep. And off once again. I thought I heard some whistles, but it's not. Apparently here in the crowd as we have Mullins. Mullins carrying the load. So that's what the Beavers have done. They pick out the back that they want to do the carrying for the most part. It was Whalen late in the 1st half, and now it is Mullins. Is Aaron Gleason in on the tackle that time by the Cardinals. And best drive of the night without a doubt for Harper Creek. We got another official timeout. I don't know. Maybe they're hearing that whistle.
Maybe they heard the whistle.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get a PA announcement here in a minute. Telling who's ever got it here in the stands, whoever's blowing that whistle, to swallow it.
Yeah, they got the band down there. They always got somebody that's got a whistle.
Attention, please. This is a matter of sportsmanship. Someone in the stands is blowing a whistle. Please cease. Allow the kids to play football on
Cease that whistle. Cease that whistle, young man. Well, tell them to swallow that whistle. I swallowed a bug here about 5 minutes ago, and it's still working its way down. Yuck. Get some extra pop.
Lightning bug. You'd be the golden boy.
Am I flashing? Off and on.
E.T.
Beavers 1st and 10. Harper Creek 1st and 10 on the Coldwater 33-yard line. Same formation as the Cardinals hold it at 6-0 lead. Once again, the running play is going to go to Mullins. Takes 2 or 3 Cardinal tacklers every time to bring him down. This time we've got Porter making the tackle, and also it's going to be Rusty Reed and Ziegler, the 3 of them having to bring down Mullins. He's going to get tired here in a minute, I would think, although he didn't carry a lot in the 1st half, but we'll see if he wants to continue to carry the load.
He plays nose guard, though, on defense, buddy.
5'9", 200-pound senior, and one of the tri-captains for the Beavers. Now this time we just have a single receiver out to the far side, but now we do have 2 of them splitting out wide. 2nd and 3 for the Beavers on the Coldwater 25-yard line. Fumble on the snap, but it's picked up by the quarterback. Fuller does a nice job as he fumbled the snap, and it's Rusty Reed right there quickly on top of Fuller, and that's up for grabs, but quick reaction by Fuller allows him to pull it in, so it's going to set up 4th down, 4th and a long 4. They need to get to the Beavers down to about the Coldwater 22-yard line. They spot it just outside the 25. Big play of the ball game for these 2 teams. Coldwater made the big play on defense late in the 1st half. It was on the 3-yard line. Final play of the 1st half. Coldwater stops Harper Creek. Let's see what the Beavers do now. 4th and 3 on the Coldwater 25-yard line. Fuller up to the line of scrimmage. Looks over the defense. Takes the snap. Running play. Mullins pushes forward on the right side of the line. We'll see where the spot is. It looks like he's got a 1st down.
That's just power right there. Just power football going right over the top of Reed was on the bottom. And they're going right over Anthony on that.
Renner also in on the stop that time for the Cardinals, but it is going to be first down. So Harper's responded on this drive a couple of times, picking up first down on fourth down. So it's 1st and 10. We're already down to 8.5 minutes left here in the ball game. Very important could be if the Beavers score.
Now watch out for 20 because he's out wide this time, and he wasn't out wide last time.
Well, up to the line of scrimmage. Looks over that way. Wide receiver split out to the far side of the field, but it's going to be a running play, and it's going to be Whalen busting through 10-5. He'll score for Harper Creek. 21-yard touchdown run by Seth Whalen. Boy, it looked like Cardinals had him stopped at about the line of scrimmage, but he showed that in the late in the first half. He's shifty, able to get through the holes, and he scores. So Harper finally getting on the board with 8:08 left in the game, and now the all-important extra point coming up.
I tell you, he did. He was stopped twice, and he broke loose, and then after he got by the last one, it was nonstop.
Lee Britton is going to try the kick here to put the Beavers up by 1. We'll see how this goes. Here comes the snap. It's a good snap. Kick is up, and it is good. So the Beavers, trailing the entire game, are ahead now with 8:08 left. Harper Creek 7, Coldwater 6. Coldwater will be sending Jarvis back deep, and Chris Torres.
This guy can kick a long one. Maybe we can have old Jarvis bust one, come right back and stick it down their throat.
We've had Howard back there, but now it's going to be Reed and Jarvis. Torres out in front of him. And Porter here to the near side, the two up receivers to take the kickoff from Britton. And that woke up the Harper Creek fans who were slumbering for most of the game with Coldwater's defense holding the Beavers in check. But they're fired up now.
Well, it's important that Coldwater get back and get control of the ball game as far as the running game and make sure those linemen continue to do the jobs and the backs to continue to run hard. 8, we had it for about 7 minutes last time and took it down the field.
There's the whistle. Britt with the kick. High, great
Jarvis.
kick, end over end. And Jarvis lets it go into the end zone.
He drilled at it, hit about the 3-yard line.
So they do have a great kicking game, great field goals, a great punter, great combination. So the special teams play for Harper coming through there. Cardinals will start out on their own 20-yard line.
Boy, he kicked that ball. That thing just about went 60 yards in the air. That's the best kicker we've seen in a while.
Great weapon to have. Partial is out on the field now. We'll bring out the Cardinals on offense. We got Rusty Reed, Chris Jarvis, Doug Howard in the full house backfield, lining up behind Partial, the quarterback. Looking over that Harper defense. It'll be a running play. And a flag also on the play. I thought I saw a flag. No,
yeah, there was one that went thrown in there.
And it looks like one of the linemen for the Cardinals, maybe a cramp, number 50. Like you say, I don't like these alphabetical lineup cards, but the number 50 is Steve Parker.
Hold for Coldwater.
So the drive for Coldwater not starting off the way they like it. Major penalty. And then Coldwater's pretty much been penalty free here tonight. I'm trying to remember if they've had any penalties before this one.
I don't think so.
So that's the up until now. We talked about it. You know, the team making the fewest errors, whether it be turnovers or mental errors. But the Cardinals getting caught that time with the hold, so they'll mark it now inside the 15, back to the 10-yard line. That's right, half the distance. So first and 10 for the Cardinals, first and 25 for Coldwater, and they're backed up now to their 10-yard line. Cardinals needs to bust one out here. They don't want to give the Beavers good field position here as the clock and the time will now start to be a factor. 7:54 and counting left here in the ball game. First and 20 for the Cardinals on their own 10-yard line. Marshall will give the handoff. No, he fakes. He's back deep in his field. Has a lot of room here to the near side. 10, 15, 20. Steps inside the tackler. 25. Still on his feet. Out across the 30. Out to the 32-yard line. Big first down pickup on 1st and 20. First down for Coldwater. Finally stopped by Matt Green, and it was a nice stop and fake for Marshall, Doug. After he picked up about 10 yards, he just kind of stopped and let the defender go by him, and then he broke another tackle. He's shown that ability to break some tackles, and Nice
You know,
heady
he's tall
quarterback.
and lanky, and he's very, very athletic. And that was a fine play by him right there.
Well, how many times have we seen the opponent do that to Coldwater when they have 3rd and long? This time the Cardinals turn the table, and they have 3rd and long, but they pick up a first down. The Cardinals get out of a hole, trailing here by a score of 7-6. Rusty Reed on the right side, and he's tripped up at the line of scrimmage, getting down low and making the tackle. Yeah, that was Scheidler, one of the tri-captains.
Linebacker. He's the one who's been calling the signals all night long. He was very instrumental on defense in the first quarter. Then we haven't heard much about him. Then he comes back and makes a statement right there.
Well, he looks over and gets a signal from the one of the coaches. 6:52 and counting. 2nd and 9, a pickup of only 1 that time for Reed. We've got Howard out on the slot back to the far side. He's been their favorite receiver tonight of Brian Partial. We'll see if the Cardinals put it up here. Partial, no, will give off to Jarvis. He has not been able to get outside tonight, and he doesn't get outside that time. In fact, he loses some yardage. You got Scheidler there again. Also, we've got Gay in on the tackle that time for the Beavers. So they get the great penetration and then to move down the line of scrimmage. Boy, yeah, you got it, Doug. Look at another Harper Creek coach. They're way out there on the field.
Oh, yeah, that's the head man. That red-haired guy is the head guy.
That's Ed Greenman.
Been, what, 14 years I think I read he's been here?
He's also now the athletic director, taking over for longtime AD Ralph Kenyon. So the Cardinals now face a crucial 3rd and 11. And it was Partial picking it up himself previously when the Cardinals had long to go. Stunt on the defense.
5-yard penalty. That'll
there we
give
go.
us 5.
And the linebackers coming up and stunning, and one of them crosses the encroachment line, and the Cardinals will pick up 5, and that'll make it a little easier instead of...
Oh, it's going against us.
Oh, my. Okay, it's the other way around. Maybe Partial moving slightly before the snap, and that's picked up by the officials. And so instead of 3rd and 11, 3rd and 16.
Wow.
Don't want to put yourself in those holes, and the Cardinals, all of the penalties bunching up together here when the Cardinals need those mistakes the least when they trail 7-6. 5:56 left in our ball game. Cardinals coming out with a full house backfield look on this 3rd and 15. Linebackers up behind the 5 up men, and it'll be a running play, and the Cardinals just playing it close to the vest this time with the Rusty Reed with the carry. Nothing much there in the middle, so the Cardinals are going to look to punt it away. They want to get a good punt from Rusty Reed and then put the stops on defense or possibly force a turnover. The Beavers with 2 turnovers here tonight. One an interception in the first quarter, and then the fumble, which led to the Coldwater touchdown late in the first half. Coldwater again trailing 7-6, 5:13 and counting left here in our ball game. Reed back to take the snap at about his 15-yard line. Gets it, good snap. Gets the kick away, a good kick. Going to be taken by Hogue at the 40, breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle, 40, 50, and then he's going to be corralled and thrown down hard by the Cardinals, and the tackle done by Gordon Lewis. So it looked dangerous there for a minute as Hogue took the kick at about his own 40-yard line, and he gets out to about the 45, and that's where the Beavers will set up. So this is where the Cardinal defense, which did so well in the first half and also in the third quarter, they got to make a stand.
Got to have a turnover. Turnover would help them.
Need that big hit, the big stick, something to get the Cardinals fired up. We'll see if somebody can deliver it, and we'll see which back the Beavers will feature here. Will it be Mullins or Whalen?
I'd say Mullins up the middle.
Fuller up to the line of scrimmage. And it is going to be Whalen. A couple of fakes. They faked it to Mullins, and it wasn't exactly a great exchange of the ball that time from the quarterback to the running back. Will Renner in on the tackle that time for the Cardinals, and Rusty Reed also there, and that's where the Beavers going to have to take care of the ball right there. And for the Cardinals, they hope that they don't. 4:32, 4:31 and counting left in our game. A defensive dominated contest here tonight at Harper Creek. Beavers at their own 48-yard line. 2nd and 7. Running play comes here to the near side. It's going to be Tyndall. Breaks a tackle out across the 45 down to about the 42-yard line. Well, they'll move it back to about the 43, but it looks like it's going to be first down yardage for Harper Creek, and they do move the chains. Yes, there it is. The first down signal. Todd Porter with the tackle for the Cardinals. And we're getting very close to stop time for Coldwater. 4:15 left.
That was a hard run right there.
A lot of momentum for these running backs. They see any kind of daylight, any kind of seam, and they add on a couple of 2 extra 3 yards. Running back goes Turnbull, big hole on the left side of the line, bursts up the middle, 30, down to the 25, and definitely the momentum now with Harper as Mullins, with the carry that time, pushes his fist up in the air. Todd Porter with the tackle, and it's all Harper now on that line of scrimmage, pushing back the Coldwater defense.
That just looked like trap blocking in the middle there, and Jamie's calling timeout. I think he's remembering how much time they put in this ball game and how good they have looked, and they don't want to fold here at the end. You got to get down there deep and get you something else here.
We'll take a quick timeout here. 3:54 left in the ball game. Harper Creek 7, Coldwater 6 here. Coldwater led in this ball game until we have about 8 minutes left in the 4th quarter before the Beavers finally do get on the board. And the all-important kick, extra point is good. And Harper holds that 7-6 lead, but they stiffen on defense, stop the Cardinals, and now Coldwater with its back to the wall. The Beavers on the Coldwater 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Beavers. Fuller up to the line of scrimmage.
Same set as last time.
And it will be a handoff to Mullins, left side of the line. Has another big hole. The Cardinals look like Doug. They're trying to tackle the ball instead of tackle the runner. I mean, you do want to get that turnover, but they got to concentrate on getting Mullins down. And it's Doug Howard finally making the tackle that time for Coldwater. It's going to be 2nd and about 3.
First guy's got to get the wrap, and then after that, everybody goes after the football. With Mullins, you better get 2 guys to get the wrap, and then start going after the football after that. And he's running through the line with both hands on it, much like Reed when Reed carries it up the middle. It's going to take a good shot to get it out of there. I would say it's going to be on exchange if they do fumble the ball at all.
And Mullins with the carry again. He needs to get down to about the 15-yard line. He's very close to the first down. Looks like he's got it marked at about the 16. Nick Anthony in on the stop. It's going to set up 3rd and short. And this is the Cardinals really. It's got check time. They got to. And I guess we're going to have a measurement. I'd say it's positively short, but they just need to maybe establish exactly where they want to mark it, where they need to get for that first down.
You know, this is amazing with high school football, and I've yet to realize that. I know they've done it the last 2 or 3 times. What they do is they take the ball, if it's in the middle of the field, they move the ball to a hash marker over by there, and they place the ball where the linesman's foot is that marks the ball rather than where the ball is laying. And it seems to me like there could be some discrepancy, 2 or 4, losing yardage there. Why not just put the ball down, keep your hand down, get everybody away from it, and then bring it out and measure at that spot? But
lose something in the translation there. You're right.
Yeah,
and 2 or
maybe
3.
they feel that the guy that spotted the ball knows exactly where it was, and maybe it, I don't know. It seems strange to move a ball though to bring out a measurement.
Beavers in good shape here. They need to pick up about 3 inches for a first down. 3rd and inches. The ball on the Coldwater 16-yard line. They lead 7-6. Clock moving now down to the 3-minute mark, and we got the quarterback keeper good for the first down, and it's going to be Fuller. They'll move the chains. So Harper Creek, they'd like to score, of course, but they just want to continue to maintain control. That's the name of the game right here, right now, with 3:05 left, and the Beavers ahead by a point at 7-6. Whalen in the backfield along with Tyndall and Mullins. Mullins now out in the slot here to the near side. Maybe it'll be Whalen will get the ball, and he does. Move on the right side. Excuse me, it's Tyndall, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. 15 yards, and that may do it for Harper Creek. A quick hitter, trap run here on the right side. Tyndall with the carry. We'll call it 14 yards. 14-yard touchdown run for Harper Creek, and their fans are celebrating. They smell victory now, up by a score of 13-6 Cardinals. We'll see whether they go for 1 or 2 here. It looks like they're going to go for 1, so conceivably Cardinals could go down and tie it up with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
I tell you, it was power football coming this way, and he just found the hole and shot up through it.
So here comes the try for the extra point. You've seen Britton with a good leg. There's a snap. Good snap. Kick is up, and it is good.
Oh yeah, he's on. I don't think he's missed this year. If I remember looking at the guide right, he was like 4 for 4 coming in and 2 for 2 tonight.
So Harper in control right now. 14-6 the lead over the Cardinals. Britton getting it teed up. Either way, super ball game here tonight at Harper.
Left-footed kicker.
There's the whistle. There's the kick. Another one.
Oh, this
so
could
long,
be this could be returned.
It's going to be Jarvis. 15, 20, and then tackled quickly as he crosses the 20. Tackling that time for Harper is Greg Willivice. So Coldwater will have to go 70-some plus yards if they're going to tie the score. About 78 yards. Yep. Got 2 minutes and 41 seconds to do something about it.
77 yards. Marked it on the 23.
Coldwater comes out. Howard split here to the near side. And on the far side is Jarvis.
Got one-on-one coverage on Jarvis. Now they're doubling up.
See what kind of protection we can get for Brian Partial. Takes the snap, drops back to pass. Coming here to the near side, and it's going to be Howard with the reception. Breaks a tackle at the 35 where he's down. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. And he runs, shook his interference to clear him out, and then Howard makes the catch. Justin Tyndall with the tackle for the Beavers. They'll stop the clock to move the chains with 2:35.
Partial's limping a little bit. He got hammered after he made that throw.
But he's up in the huddle now. He breaks it. Cardinals coming up to the line of scrimmage. Same formation for the Cardinals. Clock moving now. 2:25 left in our ball game. Cardinals trail 14-6. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and it's going to be Reed going around the right side, and he thinks about the halfback option pass, but he's down on the ground. He fumbles, but of course he is down, and that's where they'll spotted a big loss for the Cardinals. All the way back to about the 26-yard line, and well, I don't know about that play call, Doug, at this point in the contest. A little bit of razzle-dazzle for the Cardinals. And backfires a bit of loss of about 10. Cardinals need to call a timeout to talk about it. 2:09 left in our ball game.
I've been a firm believer of a screen pass in high school football. I know Marshall used to run it a lot. I mean, it's an excellent play because it puts so much pressure on the linebackers. 2nd and
18, split wide receivers the same for the Cardinals. Marshall takes the snap, drops back to pass under some heavy pressure, gets away from the defender. He's at his 18, another defender coming his way, but Marshall will run it. 25, 30, 35, knocked out of bounds all the way up to about the 36-yard line. Not enough for the first down, but he picks up some of that yardage lost on the previous play. He gets up past the original line of scrimmage, and that importantly also stops the clock for the Cardinals. 1:57 remaining. They're going to spot the ball at about the 37. So the Cardinals will face 3rd and about 8. They need to get right exactly to the 45-yard line. Jarvis here split to the near side. Howard to the far side for the Cardinals on this 3rd and 8.
You got to pick up the backers that are coming in. You got to give him some time to throw the ball.
Marshall, handoff, nothing for Reed as he
timeout.
Just a handoff, not even just a hint of a draw, but it's the handoff to Reed, and the Cardinals got to call a timeout. 1:51. Here's the ball game.
Green on the bottom. Well, he's played a whale of a defensive player tonight. He's got to be their defensive player. I'd hate to guess how many tackles he's had and also how many assists he's been in on too.
Ball game on the line. 4th and 8 for the Cardinals on their own 37-yard line. Under 2 minutes left. Partial takes the snap, drops back to pass, pump fakes. He's going to go long down to Howard. He is open, but it's incomplete, just out of his reach at the Harper 40-yard line. So well-conceived play. Fake into the line. A pump fake on the pass by Partial. And it's Howard, the intended receiver, his favorite receiver tonight, and just slightly out of his reach down to the 40, and that should be the ball game. 1:45. Harper can just run out the clock now, leading by a score of 14-6.
No timeouts, so they can take, they can take some kneels or, just run some plays because Coldwater can't stop the clock. The only thing to stop the clock is first down. Gallant effort, and I tell you, that wasn't a bad play. I mean, he makes that connection. You got a first down with a 1:45 to go, and you're in Harper Creek territory. A little more pressure put on the team.
Fuller up to the line of scrimmage, and he'll hand off. Surprise Tyndall with the carry here to the near side. And as you say, a couple of runs, and then they can start with a kneel down as Leonard in on the tackle for the Cardinals. And it's going to be a disappointed Cardinal team if they do indeed lose this tonight, going home to Coldwater. A very well played game on both sides of the line for the Cardinals here tonight. Maybe just running out of a little bit of steam here in the fourth quarter. Harper Creek starting to establish itself on the line of scrimmage, and give credit to the Beavers coming back here in the second half, as this time it's going to be to Whalen. Makes a couple of juke moves at about the 30, inside the 25, down to about the 22-yard line before Doug Howard makes the tackle to stop the clock with 1:02 and move the chains.
You know, this is one of those deals where you get the Harper Creek saying we didn't play very well, and then you get the Coldwater people saying, hey, we played a pretty good ball game, you know. And who knows? I mean, you got to be there's got to be a lot of positives coming out of this as Kokinis goes off the field.
Yeah, but I know Jamie Spray is going to have no talk about a moral victory and all that kind of garbage that you might hear from some folks. You don't want to hear that at all.
He's pretty straight up.
Yep,
yeah.
And this one was within their grasp. Was Torres. Chris Torres pulls down Mullins down to 38, 37 seconds and counting here. Great Lakes scoreboard show coming up after Jim Measl's recap following the games, as you hear scores and highlights from high school football all over the state of Michigan. Stay tuned for that after our game here tonight, and every week after our high school football coverage here on AM 1590.
Snap and a kneel.
Yeah, this will be the last play of the game. So Harper Creek will register its 6th straight victory over the Cardinals. A defensive dominated game for most of the contest, and the Beavers don't score until 8 minutes left as they hear their fans now come to their feet and salute the Beavers, who come away with a 14-6 victory tonight over the Coldwater Cardinals.